December 7th will, of course, be two great rematches. That's right, that's being Rafael Espinoza versus Robesi Ramirez 2 for the WBO Featherweight World Championship. And, of course, Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez 2 for the WBO Super Featherweight World Championship. Now, of course, one fight was slightly less close than the other one. We'll talk about that later. But, of course, I do believe one fight will go the other way. Unfortunately, one of them will not. You'll probably know which ones I'm talking about. But speaking of which, let's talk about the first fight. That's right, Robesi Ramirez, the two-time gold medal Olympian and the former WBO Featherweight World Champion. He's 14-2 with 9 wins by way of knockout, nicknamed the Train. Of course, he is coming off of the TKO victory against Brandon Leon Benitez with a super good uppercut, lifted him from his feet. But of course, he got his work cut out for him as he is facing the guy he lost to. That's right, that being Rafael Espinoza, 25-0, 21 wins by way of knockout, the 6'1" featherweight El Divino. Now, of course, he is coming off of the 4th round stoppage win against Sergio Chirino Sanchez, who's only been stopped one other time, that being against Mauricio Lara. Now, of course, if you look at their records, obviously, one is better than the other one. And obviously, the one with the better resume, as you would say, is not Espinoza, right? Espinoza, although he was 6'1", I don't think a lot of people thought he was going to do it, right? Okay, obviously some people were, but like for the most part, people thought, oh, Robesi Ramirez is too good for that, right? Nope. He lost majority decision. But anyways, we'll talk about the little resume that Ramirez has. He beat the 17-0 Orlando Gonzalez. Of course, his last fight, he fought Raymond Ford. Kind of not so close fight. He then beat 14-1 Eric Donovan via stoppage. He then stopped Abraham Nova back when he was undefeated. Very nice. He then beat Jose Matias Romero, being the first guy to stop him, beating Isaac Dogbe for the championship. He then defended it one time against Satoshi Shimizu, 5th round stoppage win, until he faced the Divine One, right? And of course, you look at Espinoza's resume, not the best, you know, for the most part. The first time he fought a dude with technically a winning record that was more than 4 fights, it was the 8-1 Diego Chavez, like basically his 14th fight. So obviously not the best, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because he literally beat Robesi Ramirez. Now, of course, I think people are realizing which fight I think is going to go differently is this fight. Look, Espinoza 6'1", he beat Ramirez, dropping him in the 12th round, right? But the knockdown Ramirez got on Espinoza in the 5th round, ooh, dude, that was bad. If it wasn't the end of the round, they would have stopped the fight. Anyone who gets up and falls down like that, they'll be like, no, you can't do anything. We're going to stop the fight. But of course, the one weird thing I like to talk about, I think Robesi Ramirez kind of had the wrong thing when he tried to stop Espinoza, because if my eyes do not deceive me, I'm pretty sure he threw like 3 straight left hands after after he dropped them. Like the first one didn't land. Why the hell would you throw 2 more, right? He's like, here's one left hand, here's another one. Oh man, you're not gonna believe which one I'm gonna throw next. Another left hand. It's just like, what? Of course, Ramirez was kind of catching Espinoza on his little switch stance thing he does. But of course, Espinoza has a lot of heart, and he powered through the knockdown, pretty bad one. But the thing is, although they probably still would let him fight, even if he got the same knockdown this fight, even if it wasn't the end of the round, I think Ramirez would stop him, right? And also maybe not try to gas himself out throwing the same punch like 3 times in a row. But whatever, hindsight's 20/20, and I'm not a boxer, so maybe that was the best course of action. I don't know. Not really a tactician, right? But this is a toss-up though. Espinoza could solidify himself as the champion, beating Ramirez a little bit more convincingly this time around. But I feel like he only got the knockdown because Ramirez kind of gassed himself out. But hey, maybe I don't know. Because literally, if he didn't get that knockdown, he would have lost, right? It would have been majority decision for Ramirez, right? But yeah, I just think Robesi Ramirez, although I don't think he gets a knockdown this time around. I think it's gonna be just good old fashioned fighting, no knockdowns, nothing. It's just going to be a bunch of people just beating each other up, right? But I think Ramirez adjusts himself quite nicely in the rematch and hopefully gets the win. Well, now I don't say hopefully gets the win, but I am choosing him to win, so probably, hopefully, for my record, Of course, Ramirez is known for his straight left hand as kind of like his money punch. But the one thing that they do like to say is that he has like weird footwork. Like he has good footwork. Obviously he's an Olympian, right? But he's like a little weird. So maybe Espinoza can catch him for that. You know, punish him for that. You never know. But at the same time, I feel like he might have fixed that, right? But besides that, I got Ramirez probably by decision. You know, I was thinking beforehand he was going to stop Espinoza, but no, I don't think so. I think he's going to be a little bit more cautious this fight. Maybe not, try to knock him out this time around, just win rounds. But you never know. You never know. He dropped him badly in the 5th round. You never know. You might catch him again, right? But Espinoza, of course, has that inside fighting for some reason. Like, I mean, he fights on the outside as well, but it's just, it's whatever, right? Espinoza, once again, could beat Ramirez, right? He dropped him in the last round. But I just do think that was more because of Ramirez's mistakes than it was through his own skill. I'm not saying he sucks, right? Obviously, he defended the title, right? But enough buts, actually. That's about it. Ramirez probably going to win decision. I think he avenges his loss to Espinoza, becomes champion once again. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Espinoza is humongous. He could more than comfortably make super featherweight. And you never know. He could face the loser of the main event or even the winner. You never know. Espinoza is an all-action fighter. People would want to see him back, right? But besides that, I think Ramirez avenges the loss. But now the main event, that's right, being Emmanuel Navarrete, the cowboy, taking on Oscar Valdez, the former world champion. Of course, Valdez being 32-2, 24 wins by way of knockout. His one other loss was to Shakur Stevenson in their unification bout, where he lost by unanimous decision, basically almost every round. But before that, he became world champion, the WBC world champion anyways, by knocking out Miguel Berchelt in the 10th round. And he was also the former WBO featherweight world champion, where he actually defended it quite a bit of times. So he's a 2-division world champion, and he's defended it, right? But it seems like the opinion of the general public seems to be that Valdez's best days are behind him. He is 33, not super old, but he has been in quite a bit of wars, as people would say. So maybe there's a lot more miles on the gauge than normal, right? But he is taking on the 3-division world champion, Emmanuel Navarrete, 38-2, 1 draw, 31 wins by way of knockout, a knockout artist. Now, of course, his one other loss came by Daniel Argueda, unanimous decision, 4-0, back early on in his career. His latest loss was, of course, his last fight against Denis Baranchyk for the vacant WBO World Lightweight World Championship. Now, of course, that was his little quest to become a 4-division world champion. It did not go his way. A very sloppy fight, but a very clear victory for Baranchyk. I don't know why they gave it a split decision. But before that, he got another blemish, that being a majority decision draw against the Olympian Robson Conceição. Me personally, I thought he lost that fight, and I thought Conceição did enough to win, even with the 2 knockdowns. But oh well, Conceição got his belt anyways, even though he lost it in the Foster fight, which is its own little thing. They thought Foster won the first fight, and then they thought Conceição won the second fight. So it's whatever, right? No, but of course, Navarrete has beaten some good people himself. He has beaten Isaac Dogboe for the Super Bantamweight World Championship and defended it against Dogboe in the rematch, stopping him in the 12th round. So obviously doing pretty good for himself. The 20-0 Francisco de Vaca, 28-1 Juan Miguel Elorde, obviously defending the title. He then beat Ruben Villa, the undefeated 18-0 for the Featherweight World Championship, and defended that one quite a bit as well. Of course, the 24-1 Joet Gonzalez, of course, before that he only lost to Shakur Stevenson, right? Unanimous decision win. Then again, Joet Gonzalez is one tough cookie. He then defeated Liam Wilson for the Super Featherweight World Championship. And now, weirdly enough, he has won nothing but, besides the Dogboe fight, the other belts he won were vacant. Obviously could be some criticism, but he has defended both the vacant belts quite a bit of time, so the little skepticism goes away, right? But besides that, the essential common opponent is Liam Wilson. They both fought him, and they both stopped him. Navarrete stopped him in the 9th round, and Valdez stopped him in the 7th. Now, of course, Liam Wilson's pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong. You say, oh, he's just fighting people in his own country, right? So just because they have nice records doesn't mean they're good people. But come on, look at that. He beat a 37-1 guy, and then he avenged his one loss. And then he keeps fighting these like undefeated good fighters, like even after losing. This dude's like good. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him against like Casey Nunez winner. I'm not sure if he wins that one, but You never know. Lamont Roach is fighting Tank Davis, and considering how Lamont Roach gained his belt after fighting Hector Luis Garcia after he lost to Tank Davis, hey, you never know. Liam Wilson might come up and snatch that belt. You never know. And then he ends up fighting Tank. Oh, boxing. But besides that, the essential first fight was not close. This was not the close one. He beat Valdez very much convincingly. Valdez had good moments, but it wasn't enough to really secure a lot of rounds, right? That's about it, just good moments. And the thing is, people are saying that Valdez could get the job done, especially because it seems like they're finally figuring out Navarrete's little weakness, because Navarrete is kind of like a weird fighter. Like, he has bad footwork, bad defense. Like, the way he punches, he leaves himself open, but like he finds a way to like get it done. Like, oh, I'm all the way over here. He's not going to touch me. Nope, he just starts swinging his arm and he touches. He's like, what? Not to mention he's accurate too, long range, obviously. Close range, it's all right. He's an all right fighter on close range, but for the most part, he's a long range fighter, right? Of course, it was shown against the Kosei South fight in the Baranchik fight. Baranchik had the better footwork. I mean, until like the second half, where both of them were sloppy as hell, right? But yeah, I feel like you just move, you could take advantage of his sloppy footwork. But Baranchik has better footwork than Valdez, right? Or you could just try to fight it out with like Kosei South did. Like, this dude literally just was fighting with him, like punch per punch. Valdez can't do that either, unfortunately. You could try to catch him like Wilson, but I feel like he figured out like his little weakness at that point. You know, he's like, okay, I got dropped. Time to fix it up. But Navarrete's confidence may be at an all-time low for the sole fact that he has back-to-back blemishes on his record, a draw and a loss. So maybe his confidence isn't all there, but I don't know. The only way I see Valdez winning the fight if he goes like full-out brawler instead of counter-puncher, right? Because that was the first fight. He was letting Navarrete, you know, unload on punches, and he tried to catch him. Didn't really work. He did catch Navarrete every once in a while, but like it wasn't enough to hurt him or win enough rounds. So if he goes full-on brawler mode, maybe he could. He could get it done, maybe. But I don't know if he would. Right? People are saying, oh, he could get it. He could, but it's more likely Navarrete beats him again. Maybe it definitely will be a closer fight, but I still think Navarrete beats him by decision. Maybe 7 rounds to 5 this time around. You know, for all you know, he starts getting his nutrition right, and it makes him worse. He's like, oh no, he needs his donuts for his skills. You're right. And someone said, oh, Navarrete's too wacky for Valdez's IQ, right? Valdez is too smart to win against Navarrete. But besides that, yeah, Navarrete's probably gonna beat him by decision again. First fight wasn't close, but I think this one will be closer. But hey, you never know. Valdez may Burchelt him this time around, even though he couldn't the first time. You never know. But besides that, I have Rafael Espinoza losing his belt to Robeisy Ramirez via decision in a, I assume, close fight. First fight was close, but you never know. It might be a Ramirez masterclass, but it's probably gonna be close. And I got Emmanuel Navarrete retaining his belt against Oscar Valdez in a much closer fight. Probably going to be another sloppy fight from Navarrete, but hey, what are you going to do? A win's a win. But besides that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.